Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time, for real? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages on moon getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? 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 You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Put that on my soul. Oh no. They ain't hungry no more when it's time to eat crow. Or farming, I'm enhancing my glow. Ain't gon' argue with you about what I know. Photo album, all I'm seeing is ghosts. Had to remodel from pillar to post. Said what I said, I ain't come here to argue. You said congratulations, should've said sorry. Got it, now you won't be part of the party. Your access denied, I'm sorry, not sorry. When I needed air, niggas wouldn't have farted. Now they pulling up and thinking we solid. Now I'm on the phone talking $1 million topics. Up early, Zoom call out to Abu Dhabi. Don't answer my phone if it's gonna be about gossip. I don't really care, everybody got problems. That's why I be sharing my woes, letting y'all know it's okay, you can come up from the bottom. Whoa. Scraping, scratching, clawing. Before I start running, I started with crawling. Before I got balance, I started with falling. Started with broke before ever was balling. Started with hope before ever rewarded. They ain't show up till I became important. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? Classic. I'm only gonna do this once. Classic.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance, standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you. Let's get it right here, I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with me. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me. It can end quickly. In the way I level up, I make them spin differently. I should start a foundation. They be make a wish in me. I got these hoes in the fence. They can't seem to get to me.
Classic, really appreciate
it. It take more than booty cheeks. Need a little more conversation, cause I still be trying to see. I be listening with my eyes. Yeah, I still be trying to see. I be moving like the prize. You can't find another me. Let's get focused. Want the fruits of your labor, gotta climb the tree. Yeah, I'm out here planting seeds, cause I got a lot to leave. I be putting in long miles, I ain't gotta stop to breathe. I be putting in long hours, I ain't gotta stop to sleep. Yeah, I put in that time, put in work, I'm a different breed. My work ethic marine, mama mentality, shout out to Pete. Coach life, sweat, city, society, I'm in the gym working out clean. Bad work, 5 punch combination, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. I'm made different, I work too hard. Ain't no
what
way
up,
I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with me. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me.
It ain't even about being a real dude or a fake dude or a person. I'm me.
Classic.
Yo, what up, chat? It's Classic with Classic Code Sports, and we here to talk some boxing, man. Y'all ready to talk? Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Let's talk about all this work that's about to get put in, man. That's a lot of work that's about to get put in. What's going on to everybody that's in the chat? First and foremost, though, shout out to Chat 333. Chat 333, the best chat on all streaming platforms, man. You see in too deep in the chat. Anybody trying to get a hold of me, follow me, support me in any way. He will be dropping all the links for everything I got going on. I got 4 channels, y'all, and a lot of ways to tap in. Timothy said, big fight weekend, Mexico versus Dominican Republic. Yes, David Benavidez' grandfather is Dominican and on his mom's side. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Shout out to Timothy in the chat. Ian Too Deep in the chat. Jordan Salas in the chat. He said, what up, Bob? What's going on, cuz? Let me see. Where we at? There's a few more people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the party. We just gonna have a good time talking about some boxing, man. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Here go my primary channel and my sports channel scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So make sure y'all get tapped in with me, man. Let's start off talking about the Fulton. We're gonna open up talking about Foster versus Ford. O'Shaquie Foster and Raymond Ford about to lock up at the 130 pound weight limit. O'Shaquie coming off of a big win against cool boy Stephen Fulton, where he was dominant in his victory. Raymond Ford, since moving up to 130 pounds, is still undefeated. I think Ray Ford only has one loss anyway. His only loss is to Nick Ball, and that fight was close. But if you ask Ray, I'm sure he will say that he was weight drained, and he should have moved up sooner. But yeah, Ray has a record of 18-1 with 8 knockouts. All right, 18-1 with 8 knockouts, and he has his one loss to like I said, Nick Ball. So the information I had off the top of my head was correct. And then O'Shaquie actually is 24-3 with 12 knockouts. Okay. And his last loss was in 2024, and that was against Roberson Conceição. I'll be honest with you. I won money on that fight. I bet on that fight live, and O'Shaquie fought the fight like he felt like if nothing happened, that they would just give it to him, chat. And he suffered a loss on the cards as a result of it. In the second fight, he was plenty more active, a lot more dominant, and he showed that he was the better fighter than Roberson Conceição. But the first time, he simply just did not do enough work.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't say the judges robbed him. I say he robbed himself. And he learned from it. You know what I mean? That's one thing about today's time. We put a lot of emphasis on losses, and O'Shaquie Foster's losses have built character for him. So you could say that his losses and the way that his career has gone stands to benefit him from here going forward. It's all about how you weaponize the journey.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? So this fight will be tough. Here's the thing. Just on the first look at this fight, I think that O'Shaquie has more momentum than Ray Ford. O'Shaquie coming off of retribution against Roberson Conceição and then beating Stephen Fulton, right? So he got a split decision victory over Abraham Nova, which made him, no, it didn't make him a champion, but that was a, did it make him a champion? Hold on. Nah, he became a champion before that. So he defended it against Abraham Nova, right? And then he went in against Roberson Conceição and robbed himself, like I said. But then bouncing back off of that, O'Shaquie Foster won in a split decision against Roberson Conceição the second time, which easily could have been unanimous in my opinion. And then he unanimously beat Stephen Fulton, who previously, prior to that, only had a loss against Inayo Inoue, right? So Fulton's resume is certified. And to go in and beat Fulton by unanimous decision the way that he did, I'm very impressed with O'Shaquie Foster. I've always liked his boxing style. I just felt like he was one of them guys that if he didn't decide to let his hands go throughout his career, he put himself in some bad situations. But he has good range control, great footwork, 72-inch reach. Ray Ford is a little more shorter, stockier guy. Ray Ford has like a 68-inch reach. I'll be honest with you, at first glance on this fight, without getting into too many details, I feel like O'Shaquie Foster has the advantages from a physical standpoint. Both guys talk about bringing heat and walking shit down and having power, and that's fine. You know, it's a lot of ways to make guys uncomfortable in the boxing ring, and all of those things don't necessarily produce knockouts, but these guys are no knockout artists. Let's be clear. O'Shaquie is 24 wins, 12 by knockout, and Ray Ford has even less. He has 18 wins with only 8 by knockout. These guys are not knockout artists. They're talking tough to each other. They're talking about hurting each other. I don't think anybody's going to get hurt really bad in this fight. I think it's going to be a situation where Ray Ford is going to come in and try to figure out how he wants to navigate distance to get his work off. And O'Shaquie has to decide how he wants to maintain distance control. Having a 3, maybe 4-inch reach advantage, that's something that can win you the fight if you play your cards right. We've seen O'Shaquie punch hard enough to make Cool Boy keep his hands high and tight and reduce his output. Some would say Cool Boy's conditioning is the reason why his output wasn't high, but nevertheless, O'Shaquie was dominant. Ray Ford has proven to be a very determined fighter when it comes to walking shit down. So I don't know that just O'Shaquie controlling distance with the jab will be enough. I think he's going to have to really deliver some hot shit when Ray Ford try to cross the gun line. If he can't do that and deter Ray Ford's approach, we might have a fight of a year on our hands.
Classic.
If he can't control range with that front hand and his power isn't enough to deter Ray Ford from approaching and continuing to press shit out, we might have a fight of the year on our hands, champ.
Classic.
Nevertheless, a great matchup, and shout out to both men for trying to work their way onto the NDD list. Ray Ford, far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen him ducking no work. Now, if he's a part of the I wouldn't fight Shakur party, then we can't put him on the list. But right now he had 130 pounds, so we're going to leave him alone. But we know they brought us.
Classic.
We know they brought us. So, but yeah, both of these men taking this fight at this point in their careers, it definitely puts them in contention to potentially be NDD candidates, the no documented ducking list candidates. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to O'Shaquie Foster for not ducking no work. And shout out to Ray Ford for actively going to seek the work. You know what I'm saying? Devo said Ray Ford got power, though. Fighters get on their bike when he hit them. Here's my question, though. So if Ray got power and we know he like to step forward, you know what I mean? So fighters get on their bike. What's his cutting off the ring game like? Because if he punching like that to make niggas run from him all night, they definitely running from him successfully because he 18 wins with 8 knockouts. So when people get on their bike, it seems like they're allowed to, which would make me question Ray Ford's footwork. You know what I'm saying? Ray, of the two fighters, is the more flat-footed fighter. Ray want to plant his feet and dig. And again, it matches his stature. I don't know that affords him a victory against O'Shaquie. I'm going to be real with you. At first glance, we'll get deeper into details on this fight with the breakdown as it get closer. But at first glance, I think O'Shaquie just going to outbox him. I'm going to be real. I think he's going to control range with his lead hand and his feet, both. And I think he's just going to outbox Ray. He really don't have to do nothing else. The way that Ray goes about pressing shit out, I feel like O'Shaquie seen that before. O'Shaquie made a great point when he was doing an interview this week where he was like, I'm from Texas. Like, you know, I'm used to fighting Mexicans and very aggressive, you know, black fighters. We press shit in Texas, you know, that's Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So he's accustomed to people stepping to him and being undeterred and continuing to step to him. So if you used to dealing with a certain style, obviously it presents differently on a black fighter as far as the swag and the approach to it and how it's going to look. But once you get timing down and once you get the feel for how he want to try to press you, you know, I just see shock boxing. I ain't going to lie. Devo said Ray Ford got power. Yep. In Too Deep said, are we having a watch party? I'll probably call the fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll probably call the fight. Devo said most of Shock knockdowns come in the later rounds. Outwork them. Ray Ford got the clean pop that be dropping shit. Yeah, but can he get to Shock to even land that shit you talking about, Devo? He said it's a good question. Like, can he even get to him? Because Ray not like he'll press shit out, but like his feet ain't. When I see him, I don't see just this, you know, up on your toes, agile guy that's going to slip, rip, pivot out. Like, you know, once you get in, you got to find a way out too. So that's the thing too. So it's like, I don't know. I think Ray got more physical disadvantages, but he actually was real thirsty to get this fight. You know what I'm saying? He was longing for this fight. So obviously he sees something I don't see, and I respect it because I seen Ray done won me good bets. You know what I mean? So I ain't got nothing against either fighter. Big Skull, what up? 333. What's going on with it? Yeah.
Classic.
But good icebreaker, man, talking about Ray Ford and Oshaki Foster. Ray will be challenging Oshaki for his 130-pound title. Since Ray has moved up, I think this is going to be his first title shot, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that real quick. I ain't finna be one of them people that pretend like I got all this shit memorized, chat. We just going to look into it right here on the spot. Yeah, he fought Abraham Nova. That wasn't for no belt. He fought Thomas Matisse. That wasn't for no belt. And he fought Orlando Gonzalez. That wasn't for no belt. So, yeah, this is Ray Ford's first title shot at 130 pounds. I'm sure he will be very determined. But one thing I could tell y'all for sure, for the early bettors, the fight going 12. Even if somebody get dropped, the fight is going 12.
Classic.
If you got 18 fights and you ain't the type of nigga that pressed out the first 12 of them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Because they going to feed you dog food the first damn near 10 fights anyway. So if you ain't press out your first 10 or 12 opponents, you ain't no knockout artist. You could have respectable power all day long. Ain't nothing wrong. Shout out, most fighters in boxing have respectable power, right? You don't want to eat that shit all night. You feel me? But acting like they finna clean each other up. If y'all wasn't doing it fighting against the lower level opposition, y'all not gonna do it fighting each other. So the shit going 12, chat.
Classic.
But yeah, y'all could bet on the bullshit if y'all want to. It's a donation. Let's move. All right, the next fight we're gonna get into, we're gonna talk about Zayas and Ennis. Everybody get in the chat, you know what I'm saying, and let me know how y'all feel about this one. Just taking a first look at it. Boots Ennis versus Zayas. Boots, after moving up to 154 pounds, only having one fight at the weight class, now gets an opportunity to challenge for 2 belts at one time in this unification bout against Xander Zayas. Xander is 23 years old, and currently he is the youngest unified champion in boxing, chat. You know what I'm saying? So Boots versus Xander, I think this is an amazing fight. I'm grateful that the fight was made. And I'm on record saying that this is a better fight and a tougher fight for Boots than Virgil.
Classic.
Yeah, Boots was getting ready to pack Virgil right up. You know what I'm saying? Flat-footed, coming forward, throwing a lot, which means you open a lot. Boots was finna pack Virgil right up.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? You know it. I know it. De La Hoya knows it. Only people don't know it is Virgil. And Virgil might know it. Boots, that style all wrong for Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz, flat-footed, coming forward. Yeah, he step over a little bit. Like, Virgil got a little footwork to him. Like, when he get in close, he'll step over and do some little glove manipulation and all that shit. But Boots is a real athlete, man. He not finna be leaned up against the ropes letting you do none of that slow-ass shit.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? Boots with a man, listen, and if Boots ever fight Virgil, I'm going to stay on record letting you know that style is all bad for Virgil. Boots gonna punish him just like he did Roman Villa, and it might be worse because Virgil actually think he athletic. He be opening up wide as hell to get some mustard on them hooks. Boy, he gonna get caught in between some shit, and it's gonna be night.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So this is actually a better fight. Xander is a better boxer than Virgil. Xander is has more reach than Virgil. I think reach wise, Boots and Xander are relatively the same as far as reach is concerned. I think that I feel like Xander is slightly taller than Boots, but again, if they reach is the same, that shit don't really matter, man. They got Boots listed at 5'10" with a 74-inch reach, and then they got Xander at 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. So according to BoxRec, they same exact size. All right. So Boots fighting against a guy who's been at 154 his whole career, essentially. Xander is what I would say is the naturally bigger fighter. I think y'all can see that on stage at the presser. Boots says Xander is in fat camp. He trying to get his weight down. But Xander says he has a nutritionist that he's been working with his whole career that he trusts dearly. And he makes weight the way he makes weight. So we shall see, right? We shall see. But first look at this. First look at this fight. What y'all think, chat? Let me see what we talking about. Let me see what y'all talking about. Devo said Xander is confident. Both of them. Yeah, Xander is very confident. We're going to talk about that. Timothy said Zayas keeps his head on a straight line and don't know how to duck to avoid incoming shots. All right, Timothy, question for you. Not even being a smart ass. Why he ain't been knocked out yet?
Classic.
If his head just on the center line like that, he got 2 belts. He done fought in 2 championship fights. If his head just sitting on the line like that, why he ain't get clipped yet?
Classic.
Just asking. There's got to be something to that. I know that Xander pivots very well, and he catches shots on the inside very quickly, like on some slick shit. He'll shoot this hook while pivoting this direction, and then put his hand right here to catch whatever you throw, and then he'll throw something else, and then come underneath and like jab out type shit. Like Xander's boxing is kind of clean. But I mean, I get what you're saying. He gets punched. I think that's 100% of fighters, but I don't know if what you're saying is, I think you exaggerating a little bit.
Classic.
Because it ain't like he got trash opposition on his resume. Somebody would have clipped his ass. Has Xander ever even been dropped? Anybody got the stats on that? Has Xander Zayas been dropped at all in his career so far? Has he had to get off the mat? Devo said Bozy is extremely confident, though. Said this not going 12. I done heard Bozy say that before. Bozy done lost me money predicting knockouts and shit.
Classic.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, niggas gonna, man, listen, you gotta understand, bro. Bozy is 100% biased, brother. He's training his son. He is 100,000% biased. You feel me? I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, though. Xander got enough power for Boots to be at least mildly respectful. He has enough footwork for Boots to have to figure out, and he throws his punches in combinations. And not only do he lead, he'll counter, and he'll punch with you. So your question needs to be, is when Boots and Xander are in exchanges or countering each other, whatever the case may be, when Boots start landing some of the clean shit that he land, is that shit really gonna fuck with Xander's durability? Xander been at a higher weight for a longer time. So I get that, like, we get enamored with people and we start feeling like these niggas not human beings, but I promise you, Boots Ennis is a human being. Like, he's a person.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he breathed oxygen. That nigga did push-ups to get his muscles just like everybody else. Like, we could chill a little bit. It ain't everything he touches just too much, because he don't have 100% knockout ratio. And he's not, and even the knockouts that Boots has scored, he's not Deontay Wilder, right? It's not one and done clip shit. Boots gotta beat you down, beat you up. I don't know that Xander's feet has him in position to just be getting just bludgeoned with blows to the point of a stoppage. And I don't think Boots hit Xander with one punch that ends the fight. Xander has shown to have heart, and he's shown to have a reasonable chin. Can somebody get the information on whether or not he been dropped before?
Classic.
Let me see real quick. Timothy says Zayas will have a weight advantage. Absolutely. Absolutely. He'll be the bigger man in the ring on the night of, but that means Boots will be faster. Ian Too Deep said Ennis is talking about stopping anybody. The claim, when asked directly if he could stop Terrence Crawford, Ennis replied, I'm stopping anybody. Stop everybody for sure. Right. But you see what I'm saying? That's why you can't. Y'all can listen to the fighters for the build up to get our juices flowing and get excited for the fight. They supposed to sell these fights, ladies and gentlemen. They are. They're supposed to sell these fights. But when we start talking about reality, Jaron Boots Ennis went 24 rounds with Karen. What's my dog name? Kujic. Oh, well, let me try to say his name, chat. Hold on. Let me pull Karen name up because it's hard to say. But real spiel though. In 2024, yeah, in July, and then spin the block in November. No. He fought Avernesian in between and Villa in between. So in 2023, he fought Karen Kujikan, right? He went 12 rounds with him, won unanimous decision. Didn't lose a round. No problem. He also didn't punish the man. Karen's footwork kept him alive all night and allowed him to last the 12 rounds with Boots Ennis, in spite of Boots stalking and trying to impress the crowd and get a stoppage. He survived. He then stopped Roman Villa, which he should have. Flat-footed, come forward, volume puncher. Means he's there and open to get clipped. David Avanesian, he stopped him. Avanesian been knocked out a couple times already. We're not going to take no steam off of it. But the truth is the truth. I'm just speaking facts out loud. And then he rematched with Karen, and Karen went 12 rounds again. But this time, Karen didn't run the whole fight. He used movement to initiate his offense and his defense against Boots, and he was able to lose every round. Don't get it twisted. He lost every round, but he did go 12. So this notion that Boots is this destroyer that you can't make it the distance with, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? He's gone the distance 4 times in his career. He's 35-0, 31 knockouts. 4 times he's gone the distance, 2 of them with the same guy and the other 2 with other guys. You know what I'm saying? But again, he's at a higher weight class now, right? He's fighting against a unified champion. He's fighting against a man that is younger than him and that will be bigger than him. So all of y'all that's just assuming Boots finna go in there and start clipping shit up, I mean, is it possible? Absolutely. I don't think it's likely, though. I think the fight goes 12.
Classic.
I think the fight goes 12. What up, Soul? Soul's in the building, 333. What's going on? Tez in the building. What's going on, Tez? It's a walk down. Let me see. Timothy says Zayas has fought C-level opponents. Boots too. Who either of them fought? This the biggest fight of both of their careers, skill-wise. Can we agree on that part? This the biggest fight of both of their careers, skill-wise. In Too Deep said, no, Xander has not been dropped. He has actually secured his future with a multi-year contract extension with Top Rank. That's what's up. Yeah, Xander ain't never even been on the canvas. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all talking about him going in there beating an undefeated unified champion, a 23-year-old undefeated unified champion that's been at the weight for his whole career and will be bigger than Boots on the night of the fight. And y'all talking about him just going in there and just getting the nigga out of there in under 7. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just telling you that's not what I think going to happen. I think they're going to fight for 12 rounds. Soul said 333. In Too Deep said Jaron Boots Ennis is a premier knockout artist in boxing, boasting a high stoppage rate of over 85% in his professional career. Absolutely. But you got to understand that his first 20 fights was against tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? Devo said, to me, Karen is a smaller fighter with less power, but has the better head movement and footwork, and Boots was still catching him at will. Boots was catching him, but he was also getting caught. So what about when he get caught in between some shit with Xander? Also, I asked a very important question about Boots. Boots had the tendency in fights to lose focus momentarily. And sometimes it might be intentional because he's trying to, impress the crowd and shit like that. But I had to ask this question. When you see somebody do something all the time and y'all keep saying the better the opposition, the more he gonna lock in, the better the opposition, the better he will be. Y'all keep saying that. But if you got 35 fights under your belt and in each one of the fights you take a little bit of time to bullshit around, that's a habit. Is y'all gonna argue with that? That's a habit. So you get the bullshitting in there with the unified champion, fuck around, get hit with some shit you don't like, or you start giving up rounds you shouldn't give up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, these are all realistic conversations we got to have. As y'all can see, I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm not going to just be, super biased or nothing like that. This is a very balanced fight for different reasons. I do think Boots is the better fighter, but I think that the advantages that Xander has afford him an opportunity to really actually win the fight and maintain his titles. And these guys could easily box to a draw as well. I don't know about that, going in there and just wiping Xander out. There's nothing. I have nothing to go off of that tells me that that's how that shit going.
Classic.
I got plenty to go off of to tell y'all that Xander and Boots are going to go 12. I got plenty to go off of. Other than y'all telling me Boots got a high knockout ratio, out of 85% knockout ratio, out of 100% of the people he knocked out. He's knocked out 31 opponents. Out of 100 of them, out of 100% of them, all 31 of them, out of the 31, how many of them were like former champions? How many of them was like number one contend? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, out of 31 of them knockouts, like 25 of them is like, you know what I mean? 22 of them is like niggas who was boxing and had a job. You feel me? So it's like, I'm not taking nothing away from Boots. Boots is incredible, but still, like, that knockout percentage could be deceiving. You know what I'm saying? Go in there and do it to Xander, and then it's like, okay, that's the first one I'm bringing up when it's time to talk about your next fight. Hey, he just knocked out Xander, G. He the real thing. I got Boots over everybody type shit. But I still got to see it. You feel me? I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just telling y'all I think the shit going 12. Let me see. Devo said it was smart to extend the top rank before the Boots fight. Well, Xander got a bright future. You got to understand he's 23 years old fighting Boots. And then I think he's a betting underdog. So Xander's not supposed to win the fight, and he's showing great courage, which is rare in boxing today. There's a lot of boxers with confidence issues, and it shows in the way they move. What up, yay? You know what I'm saying? So Xander has a bright future, and he has a country behind him. Xander's Puerto Rican. He proudly Puerto Rican. And so the Puerto Rican people are big on boxing, and they allow their fighters to lose. You know what I'm saying? So Xander's got everything to gain, and he'll be fine if he loses, honestly.
Classic.
And most of the people at 154 still can't fuck with him. Even if he lose to Boots, he can go beat damn near everybody else. So let's see. Ted said this fight will go 12 rounds. Points win. Why you how you come to that conclusion, Tez? Where you see it? Why you see it going 12? What's your reasoning behind it? Devo said the jab is gonna be pivotal for Xander. Yeah. And you gotta understand Xander boxing in circles like he's supposed to. So Boots gonna have to throw punches where Xander's going. But the thing is, Xander will know that. And you got to understand that when Boots open up, so let's say Xander, just example, let's say Boots is in the southpaw stance and Xander keep rotating to Boots' right. So Boots start laying a hook over there. When Xander try to exit that way, he start laying a hook over there. Well, to lay that hook over there, if you do it consistently, I can time you, right? So I can do a tap like I'm going to, like I could do a tap like I'm going to your right and come right back. You lay that hook over there, and I come with some short shit right down the middle. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it's making sense to what y'all saying. It's manipulation is what I'm saying. So Xander punches well on the move. That's what I'm saying. So I see both of I see the strengths of both men, and I see how, you know what I mean? I see how this shit could go. I see easily how it can go either way. Easily, you know what I'm saying? And I see how it's probably most likely going 12 rounds. Does anybody have this as a knockout? And if you have it as a knockout, for who and by what round? Let's see. Boots have the better jab though, southpaw and orthodox. Hard for me to say because who he been jabbing. Let's see. Devo said the jab is gonna be pivotal for Xander. Yeah. I mean, jab most important punch in boxing. Pivotal altogether. Let's see. Timothy said this is a personality fight. If Xander come in with a Miguel Cotto type of focus, then he might win. If he starts acting like Berlanga, he gonna get lumped up. I'm gonna be real. I like that, Timothy, to bring that into it. The mentality. But Xander already off rip ain't shit like Berlanga. And Miguel Cotto is actually Xander Zayas' favorite fighter.
Classic.
I'm not leaning towards Xander. I got Boots winning the fight. But all this demolition shit y'all talking about is crazy. International Sco said, yay, what's the word, my YN? Devo said, Boots do lose focus, though. That's a fact. And he did lose confidence against Karen the second fight. Fair. Timothy says Zayas will have the crowd advantage. It's going to be close. Philadelphia real close to New York now. It's going to be close. Ted said again, You can be a pro in any weight class in boxing if all you have to do is sign the paper. Yeah, pass a physical. Devo said Jorge Garcia or George Garcia was the fight for Xander that convinced me that Boots' speed would overwhelm him. Did Xander lose the Garcia fight? Let's go look and see how let's go look and see the results of that Garcia fight. Because you saying that fight is the one that got you convinced that Boots' speed gonna overwhelm him. Let's go see what happened. The Jorge Garcia fight. This was last year, 2025, and he won by unanimous decision. He won by unanimous decision against Garcia. I'll go back and watch it, though. I'll go back and watch it to see what you're talking about because I don't think I saw that one. Historically, FBA great fighters usually beat Puerto Rican fighters. The only Puerto Rican to beat a prime black great FBA fighter was Miguel Cotto versus Shane Mosley. Yeah, you're right. Historically speaking, like I said, I got Boots winning the fight, but I just don't think it's gonna be death and destruction like a lot of people are saying. Ye said, "What's the parlay?" Shit, we're gonna talk about the undercards when they get closer. You want to talk about the parlay for tomorrow? We're gonna look at it in a second because I'm about to talk about Benavidez and Zurdo next. Ted says Xander is 23, Latino, and well coached. Hasn't been knocked down yet. Boots chooses fights. Great fighter. Take the early rounds to warm up to fight. Xander may win the first 3 rounds and cruise. Okay, I like that. Boots may have to knock him out because stylistically it favors Xander, but the odds are on Boots. Yeah, Boots got good footwork, but Xander punch off his footwork. That's the thing. Like in the second fight, Karen did that a lot. He punched off his movement, and he was catching Boots with all type of wild ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Boots knocked Karen down in the second fight. You know what I mean? Karen still made it to the final bell, but it's just one of them things where it's like Karen ain't Xander. Somebody said Karen got better footwork than Xander. I think they shit is what and what. I think they shit right here. I don't think one of their footwork is Xander in his last fight moved in circles all night, punched off that shit all night, caught shots that he was getting hit with early, made adjustments. Like he impressed me in his last fight to become unified. So, I mean, he wasn't fighting the athletic, diverse punching output type of guy like Boots. Boots will hit your ass with an uppercut, hook, uppercut, overhand, jab, stab, punch. You know what I'm saying? Boots will come with some wild ass, you feel me, some Mortal Kombat ass, ABBB back C combinations and shit. So, you know, we got to see what's what. KO by Boots, late stoppage. You think Xander going to get tired? Maybe he got too heavy in between fights. Maybe he do get tired. Like I said, it's possible. It just ain't what I'm going with. And I'm cool if I'm wrong. You know, we come back and talk about it. P. Rash, what up? He said, hey, brother, how you doing tonight? What are we talking about today? Right now, we're talking about Xander Zayas versus Jaron Boots Ennis, taking a first look at that fight. I got Boots in this one. Hope it's a good fight. Yeah, it should be a good fight. What up, Rashid? Let me see. Timothy said, being a slick Latin fighter versus Mexican fighters and white fighters is different. T.O. box great versus non-black fighters, but look like an amateur versus Shakur. True. Different dimensions, though. Shakur had a reach advantage on T.O. In Too Deep said, click the notification bell. Don't miss future lives. Appreciate you. Devo said, Abbas Barrow. Yeah, close that distance on Xander in the later rounds. Can Xander outbox Boots on the outside for the full 12 rounds? I think Boots can close that distance eventually. If he do close the distance, do you feel like his punches will be impactful enough to get a stoppage, though? That's what I'm saying. Xander got a reasonable amount of durability. I would imagine. I feel like Abbas is known to be a puncher. You know what I'm saying? And Xander did take some clean shots, and I mean he made adjustments so he didn't keep eating them shits. But we got to see. That's the beauty of the thing, and that's the beauty of the fight actually taking place. Devo said, and Boots always responds like you said with Mortal Kombat shit. Yeah, Boots will punch back with a ABB back up, ABB back over ABB on God. get to doing the super kick and shit. But yeah, man, if y'all see this on the rewatch, man, let me know what y'all think when y'all take a first look at this fight. Give me y'all predictions real quick. Or y'all breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? Let's move. All right, now we sliding over to the final take, which will be on David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez. They are set to fight on pay-per-view tomorrow evening for the Cruiserweight Championship of the World. David Benavidez moving up officially about 25 pounds to challenge Zurdo. And these guys have a long-standing history of sparring. And they say it was like pay-per-view level work in the sparring sessions for all of them rounds. Said they didn't spar hundreds of rounds. So these gentlemen are very familiar. And another thing that stands out about all those rounds of sparring is they clearly can take each other's punch. Yeah. I know David said he hurt Zurdo a few different times in sparring. Zurdo said he never was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Ramirez, to me, it's my opinion. I think he's a good fundamentally sound technical boxer, but I've always seen him as slow as hell. Like his hands to me always seem slow as hell. Like a Juan Manuel Marquez, like slow with great timing, great anticipation, great feel for boxing, but his hands is actually like slow as shit. That's how Zurdo always has seemed to me, like over slow. Like when I call his fight, if I call his fight blow by blow, like I feel like I got time to say everything. He throws a 1, 2, 3. Like that's how I've always seen it. No disrespect though. I just always seen him as a slow-handed fighter. Shout out to Uncle Plug. What's going on? 333. What's happening? Devo said, yeah. Timothy says Zurdo has never been close to being knocked out, so I doubt David will win by KO. Again, another one. If y'all want a safe-ass parlay for this, well, we can't parlay these, but because they're not together. But I was going to say, bet that all these fights that I'm talking about go the distance. Ain't none of these niggas knocking nobody out. David said he going to go for the knockout against Ramirez. I feel like David always say that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to lie to you. I done heard him say a couple times that he not going to go for the knockout. He's just going to let it come. And then he get in there and fight like he trying to clean shit up. So, Tristan, what up? What's going on with it? He said, what up, Classic? What's going on with it, T? The whole gang in here now.
Classic.
The whole gang in here. Super chat money. Uncle Plug said something for the pay-per-view. Gratitude. How you know I was ordering it? Unc early.
Classic.
He early. How you know I was ordering that joint? Yeah. That joint is on pay-per-view tomorrow. Anybody in the chat that want to kick in, the Cash App on the bottom of the screen, or you can super chat at the Classic Codes. My Classic Code Sports channel is not yet monetized, but we definitely on the way. C Breezy, what's going on with 333? Appreciate you, Unc 333. What's going on? Yeah, so but how I see this fight going, this is the final take because they fighting tomorrow, so we can open up about this a little bit. But I honestly feel like David Speed is going to have him up on the cards, but I do feel like at the heavier weight, at 25 pounds, I don't think David Gas Tank going to be the same. Like what he accustomed to, I just don't know if he going to feel the same in round 7, 8, 9, 10 as he's used to feeling. David's, one of his greatest strengths is his conditioning, his combination punching, and his conditioning. So I feel like moving up to 200 pounds and you only ever fought as heavy as like 175, I just don't know how he gonna feel down the back end of the fight. But I feel like he'll be up until the end. If he hits some type of fatigue wall or some type of conditioning block where he has to look or find or search for a second win, you know, I feel like that's when Zurdo, being a person who's been at cruiserweight for much longer, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he'd be the person that could walk some shit down. He not going to get a stoppage. I don't think David gets stopped. I don't think nobody getting stopped. But they going to throw leather for sure. David throws a lot of combinations. I feel like Zurdo, being a slower fighter with his great timing, he'll be able to catch David in between some shit. So we should see some heavy shots being landed. I think this fight will sound aesthetically, if you watch it at home and you able to turn them surround sound speakers up and listen to them shots, I think you're going to hear a lot of shit landing heavy. Landing hard. But these Mexican fighters, man, you know what I'm saying? They built like a, these boys, they tough like an uncooked quesadilla. You know what I'm saying? They very hard to pull apart and break down. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to and I didn't mean that with no racism either. Happy Cinco de Mayo and all that. I didn't mean that with no racism. I meant dead ass. Like them motherfuckers tough as hell. They just eat quesadillas. If it was some black people, I probably would have made a chicken analogy, but class love Mexico. I've been to Mexico about 4 or 5 times. But yeah, man, I performed in Mexico too. Shout out to the Mexicans that was rocking to the hip hop that they couldn't understand.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand it, but they was vibing like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, man. Make sure that y'all catch this fight. I'll be calling the fight blow by blow. You know what I'm saying? And we will see exactly who we feel comes out on top. If I had to bet some bread and I was trying to win some real paper, I bet the draw. Zurdo said, Zurdo Ramirez said that he got 2 fights left in his career. He said he chilling after 2 fights. When he fight David, if he get a draw and then he go fight like Jai Opataya and beat Jai or lose whatever, he can walk off into the sunset knowing he tried everybody that was worth trying. You know what I'm saying? But he might catch a draw and keep his belts. And then David slide back down and challenge Bivol because he is number 1 in line to challenge Bivol. So, a draw would actually be the best case scenario for both of these men. They both don't take a loss. They both get their bread and go home to their family, and they both can continue with their missions at their separate weight classes.
Classic.
Wouldn't be mad at a draw. Might put 5 on it. McKinnon, what up? He said, what kind of quesadillas are you cooking? Me personally, I ain't really eating quesadillas right now, but them joints that's made out of flour tough as hell. That shit literally like putting glue in your body, allegedly for content creation purposes and entertainment. Timothy said a 25-pound difference in one fight gonna make it hard for Benavidez to look like a monster. I think to make it look like for him to look like a monster for 12 rounds, I feel like he gonna have a learning experience in there with his body after about 7. You know what I'm saying? His check engine light gonna come on, and he gonna have to see if he can, get all the way to his destination, rolling with the oil pressure fucked up. He gonna have to figure it out. Timothy said it's gonna be a split decision. Oscar will always have one judge on his payroll. Okay, so you with the conspiracy? Okay.
Classic.
Okay, you with the conspiracy? Okay, let's see. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's my take on it. I think that Benavidez speed will give him the early rounds. He'll be up in the fight, going through probably about 5 for sure. And then if there's any slowdown in his go down, I think that's when Zurdo, if he has a chance to win this fight and win it decisively, I think that's where he takes over in the later rounds. And that's crazy to say that about Benavidez, but the weight difference is what makes us have this conversation. What do you think of the decision to go up to 200 pounds and then come back down to 175? For those tough fights? You think that can impact the outcome? No. And I'm gonna tell you why, because David always been a guy who done carried some excess body fat. David always been a guy that done carried a little extra on his frame, especially to be a boxer. Remember when he was fighting Caleb Plant and they was making a big deal because he had abs, and that's because he normally don't, right? Like David always have a little extra, flubber on him. So that shit could be burned off without impacting his performance for real. I think he got some extra to get rid of before he started cutting in the muscle and shit like that. So I think he'll be cool. But I think Bivol is a tough fight for him regardless, though. That footwork finna give him hell. Because again, Benavidez don't fight necessarily on his toes either. So when you got guys that's gonna move all night, without ceasing, Bivol could beat Benavidez on some straight boxing shit. And then Bivol got enough power to make Benavidez honest. You feel me? Like Bivol ain't punching like no hoe now. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez gonna have to measure his approach. He ain't just gonna be able to run up in there on some shit. That ain't gonna go like that. Timothy said, let's remember, it took David Benavidez a couple of fights to get used to 175. That's what I'm saying. I will put some bread on a draw. But I ain't gonna hold you. if you got a parlay put together, you might want to slide Zurdo on the back end of one of your parlays and see if that shit go right for you. Me personally, I'll be betting live on the fight. Yeah, I need to see how shit's shaking out and put my bet in a timely manner, you know, because I feel like my mind is faster than Vegas. By the time I see the shift in the action, oh, he gonna win. The betting odds still be good for me. I'm going to see it before Vegas do. About a round and a half before Vegas see it, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to put that play in. You feel me? That's how I get down. I like betting live. I need to see how shit going because I'm convinced damn near all the shit set up. Allegedly, all for content creation purposes and entertainment. You know what I'm saying? This is just satire.
Classic.
But yeah, man. Let's see. Timothy said, let's remember. Yeah, I remember. Yep. So we already covered all the chats, but yeah. That's it on Benavidez and Zurdo, man. We gonna see how this shit shake out, man. Make sure y'all tap in with Classic Code Sports for the live fight call. Y'all can put them peoples on mute and listen to me, or you could do a combination of both. You know what I mean? And you know, just stay tapped in, man. I'm gonna call the fight as best as I can, and I'm looking forward to all the action. Tomorrow we should be going live and talking about the undercards and how we feel like that's gonna go, and we'll also discuss parlays. So yeah, man, let's move. All right, so that's all the chat we got for today on the boxing world. I do have another stream that's getting ready to start shortly here after this one on my The Classic Codes channel. As you can see on my The Classic Codes channel, I do have another stream starting shortly after this one. So make sure y'all slide over there if you're watching from Classic Code Sports and tap in with me on that live stream. We'll be covering the Meg Thee Stallion saga with Clay Thompson, and Lexi Brown has finally spoke out. So we finna tap in and talk about some social things and I guess get messy or whatever the case may be, but we still gonna have real conversation and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. What Jay-Z say, everything ain't hardcore, you know?
Classic.
Yeah. But man, it's another episode of the Classic Code Sports. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. And if y'all don't do nothing else, make sure you stick to the codes. We got another classic. Yeah.
Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time? For real? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times, couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't call? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Put that on my soul. They ain't hungry no more when it's time to eat crow. Or farming, I'm a hand to my glow. Ain't gon' argue with you about what I know. Photo album, all I'm seeing is ghosts. Had to remodel from pillar to post. Said what I said, I ain't come here to argue. You said congratulations, should've said sorry. Got it, now you won't be part of the party. Your access denied, I'm sorry, not sorry. When I needed air, niggas wouldn't afford it. Now they pulling up and thinking we solid. Now I'm on the phone talking $1 million topics. Up early, Zoom call out to Abu Dhabi. Don't answer my phone if it's gonna be about gossip. I don't really care, everybody got problems. That's why I be sharing my woes, letting y'all know it's okay, you can come up from the bottom. Scraping, scratching, clawing. Before I start running, I started with crawling. Before I got balance, I started with falling. Started with broke before I ever was balling. Started with hope before ever reward. They ain't show up till I became important. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times, couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing?